right, guys, we're here for part 4 of the series. As you guys know, in part 1, we went through the entire wholesale business, a little bit of an overview of it, how to close your first deal before 2025 ends. In part 2, we went through the acquisitions call and how to talk to a seller, how to get a seller through a transaction. In part 3, we went through how to underwrite a property, how to make an offer, all of that. And then in part 4, we went through how to find a buyer. But now it is time for part 5. And guys, this is the most important part of wholesale real estate. If you want to close a deal, and not only if you want to close one deal, but if you want to start closing multiple deals per month before the end of the year, because it's possible, guys. Right now, I'm making this video, it is August 30th, okay? So you guys have all of September, you have all of October, all of November, and all of December. It gives you 4 full months to close your first deal. And the way that we structure it, the way that we do all of our stuff for our guys and our students is we guarantee them to close a deal in under 90 days. So this gives you 120 days to close your first deal. And once you close your first deal, start scaling up from there, closing more deals, changing your life, making more money. So let's get right into it. Enough of the talk. Let me just tell you guys exactly how to use these marketing strategies, the marketing strategies that we use, the marketing strategies that our students use to actually get insane results, close deals fast, skip all the cold calling, all the bullshit, and not spend hours and hours and hours and months of your time wasting it talking to people who don't want to sell properties, talking to people who are just going to waste your time, talking to people that aren't going to come to the closing table and aren't actually going to go through with the transaction. So let me run you guys through the marketing strategies we use, the marketing strategies our students use, and the marketing strategies that'll actually put money in your pocket. So guys, one of the biggest things you need to understand with marketing is it is a budget game. So getting into wholesaling, you need to understand what your budget is, how much money you have ready to deploy, and how you're actually going to use that money to make more money back. It's literally a business, okay? Wholesaling is a business. A lot of people call it a side hustle, blah, blah, blah. No, bro, it's a business. You can make multiple 6 figures per month with it. You can make millions per month with it, really. I mean, there's people out there that do. And you use it to get into real estate and make more money with real estate and start building generational wealth through real estate. So with that being said, you guys need to understand, you need to have a budget in mind. You need to know how much money you're gonna spend, and you need to know what type of results you are going to get with that money you are spending. So getting into budget, if you guys have less than $700 per month available right now to spend on marketing and get into wholesale real estate, you shouldn't be getting into the business. I'm gonna be honest, guys. Getting into this business is not something you're gonna get into for free, okay? It's not a few years ago. This business is something that is very competitive, and the only people that are making money are the people that are spending money on marketing, doing things different, and actually sticking to the systems that will make you money. So now, like I've said, you guys do not wanna get into this business if you don't have $700 or more to spend a month on marketing, because that is what is going to take to close your first deal if you're using the cheapest form of marketing. For those of you that are in college, if you don't have that money, you need to have a job to fund the business to make more money, okay? If you're working a job, you're making $2-3 grand a month. Let's say you're making $2-3 grand a month, okay? If you invest $700 of that a month into marketing for 3 months using the cheapest marketing method, within those 3 months, if you're actually putting in the work, putting in the effort, you're going to close a deal and you're going to get an insane return on your money. Let's say you're spending $700 a month. 700, 700, 700, right? That's gonna be $2,100. That's 1 month of your 9-to-5 income if you only make $2 grand a month. And with that amount of money you are spending with marketing, you should see a return of somewhere between 12 to 20 grand. That's like the average wholesale deal size that we get. So, I mean, that's a great return on investment. But like I said, if you guys don't have just money ready to put into this business and invest into this business and start closing deals with, you need to have a job to actually fund the business and actually get you to where you wanna get. Because if you're trying to get into this business and you're not making any money and you wanna treat this as like your first ever job and get into it with no money and try and close a deal and try and start building up capital that way, it's not going to work. You need to have some type of way to fund your business, get it up and running, and then you can quit whatever job you have once you're closing a deal, 2 deals, 3 deals a month. Like, there's no point to have a job then, but there is a point to have a job to actually get you into the business, get you closing deals, get you making money, and that's what's going to put you ahead of 99.9% of your competition, because most people that are getting into wholesaling right now, they're trying to go the freebie method, and that's just what everybody's trying to do. It's super competitive, it's super dumb. Like, all these kids are calling FSBOs and pitching creative finance deals and doing blah, blah, and blah, and that isn't what's gonna make you guys money. What's gonna make you money is having a marketing system that does well, having a good sales system, knowing how to talk to a seller, knowing how to find buyers, and that's how you're gonna make money. And we've already gone over all of that in all the other parts of this series. So now all you need to do is get the marketing running, fund the marketing, and start closing deals, and you're gonna make a lot of money. So like I've said already time and time again, $700 a month, that is the cheapest form of marketing, okay? So let me walk you guys through the 4 types of marketing that I would recommend and the types that I have used, my students have used, and we've actually made a lot of money with. So number 1, the first form of marketing, which is the cheapest, which is like around that $700 range that I'm talking about, is SMS marketing, guys. And this is the one that most of the guys that I work with and most of the people that I see closing deals as their first deal, a lot of them are using SMS because SMS just makes the most sense for beginners most of the time. And guys, I've said this $700 mark a lot of different times already for this SMS method of marketing. And what you guys need to understand is that's what we get it for at a very high volume for the guys inside of our program and our agency that we teach how to close their first deal. So we get texts for around 1 cent to a little less than 1 cent. If you guys are gonna try and do it with some other type of agency, they're gonna charge you like probably 7-8 cents per text, okay? So we get it 7 to 8 times cheaper than all those people for our guys. So that's how it really is so cheap. Like a lot of our guys that we work with that are closing their first deal or closing their first few deals, they're really only spending like $400 or $500 a month on SMS. The reason I say that $700 mark for the guys that work with us is because with SMS, you need to pull the data and you need to do all that stuff as well as send a text. Okay, so sending a text is really cheap. It's like 1 cent to a little less than 1 cent per text, but then you got to pull the data, and those are actually really your only costs. So $700 a month is on the high end if you're putting out a lot of volume, and that's going to like guarantee you to close a deal in under 3 months. If you're actually following all the other steps correctly, like talking to sellers, acquisition process, underwriting, if you're doing all of that and you're spending $700 a month on SMS, you're going to close the deal in 3 months, no doubt. So just so you guys know. So that is SMS, and if you're someone that's getting into this business and you have a lower budget of a few $100s a month or $1,000 a month or whatever, 100% SMS, and that's going to be the first form of marketing. That is also the cheapest form of marketing. But I think it's the best for beginners because it gets you to close your first deal. You're not spending too much money. You're not risking too much, and you're actually getting proof of concept. And then once you close a deal with SMS, you can kind of double down with it. Or once you double down with it, you can then make, obviously, if you're closing a deal, average deal size between 10 and 20K. So once you start making that money, you can then start moving up into these different forms of marketing that I'm about to talk about. And guys, the way that wholesaling kind of works is when you're closing deals and you're making money, like you start with SMS, and then you climb the ladder, you get to the next one, and then you climb the ladder, get to the next one, and then you climb the ladder and get to the next one. You just need to start climbing the ladder, okay? You start with the cheapest form of marketing, make some money, get to the next level, get to the next level, get to the next level. And the higher levels you go up, just the more predictable your marketing gets. Like, you know, if you spend this amount of money, you're gonna get this amount of money in return. Like you have everything dialed to a T. You close deals with things like SMS, and then you use that money to get into more predictable streams of marketing like the ones we're about to get into. So that's SMS, guys. Let's get into the second form of marketing now. All right, guys, so that was SMS. Now let's get into number 2, which is going to be VAs. So this is the second form of marketing that we're gonna get into. Like I said, kind of climb up the ladder. So SMS, number 2, VAs, guys. And pretty much what VAs is, if you somehow don't know what that means, it means virtual assistant. Yeah, you're paying someone that's out of the country and you're paying them like a few bucks an hour to cold call for you the entire day, 10 hours a day, and actually generate you leads. And this is really good because with SMS, you can't really talk to like landlines and stuff. Obviously, you can't text a landline. So these VAs can actually reach landlines. And obviously, if you guys think about it, like just use your brain and like think about it. People that have landlines probably might have a really good reason to sell a property and a really good reason to take a cash offer. So it's always an incentive, and VAs are just really like proven and like tested, and it's like a great form of marketing if you actually have the money to do it. So what we recommend to our students is to not run VAs if you're not running like at least 3 at once. So as far as cost for running 3 VAs at once, on average, industry standard, they get VAs for around $6 to $7 an hour. Don't make the joke 6, 7, but they get them for around $6 to $7 an hour. For the guys in our program, our agency, we get you VAs for around $4 an hour. So cost with 3 VAs, the industry standard, I've seen people pay over like $2,000 a month for 1 VA. We have students that have came to us and started working with us that want us to grow their wholesale business, and they're like, yeah, I have a VA running right now. And I was like, oh, dude, what are you paying? Like $600-700 a month? And they're like, nah, I'm paying $2,000 for 1 VA, and he's not even generating a lot of leads, okay? So you guys gotta make sure you get your VAs from the right spot, because a lot of people are really just gonna screw you over. They're gonna charge you way more than they're worth. So you gotta make sure you're getting them from the right place. So like I said, 3 VAs, I've seen people pay $2,000 a month per VA. 3 VAs, if you're inside of our agency, working with me and Dylan, we get 3 VAs for around $2,300 to $2,500 a month, which is really, really good price. I mean, if you're running 3 VAs and you're spending $2,400 to $2,500 per month, and you're getting, well, 2 to 3 deals per month, let's just say $40K for 3 deals per month, which, I mean, it just depends on, it's always different, but with average, that should be pretty easy. So 3 deals per month, running 3 VAs, that would be about $40K per month. That's literally like a 16 to 17x return on the spend you are putting into these VAs. Like, I mean, those numbers are ridiculous. And on top of that, you're learning all the skills of real estate. You're building a wholesale business that is predictable and actually scalable. And then you're actually starting to close deals, you're building up capital, and then you can then get into things like fix and flips or development or whatever you want to get into later down the line with all the capital you are building up and the wholesale business that you are scaling up to put more money in your pocket. So guys, that's an in-depth run through VAs. So we've already gone through SMS, we've gone through VAs. So pretty much start out with SMS. If you don't have the money for VAs yet, start out with SMS, close your first deal with SMS, start running VAs. And after VAs, you can move on to either step 3 or step 4. So pretty much step 3, the third string or third level of marketing or whatever that I actually haven't even done myself, to be honest. I don't really like this one, but you guys can do what you want. There's a lot of people that make a lot of money with this. So the third level would be pay per lead. So this is pretty much where you're paying like $200 to $500 per lead, but these are like really good, high quality leads that you're paying from a company or from something like that. And when you get these leads, there could be issues, okay? So you could be getting the same lead to somebody else. I mean, you never really know, okay? Like, you're paying for leads, you don't really know exactly where they're coming from. A lot of the times I've heard guys have good stories of pay per lead, and I've heard guys have bad stories of pay per lead, okay? So it's kind of like you do your own research, you see if you want to do it. I don't really ever really recommend it, but it's a good form of marketing because a lot of people do make a lot of money with it. But the thing is with pay per lead, guys, you need to have a very high budget, okay? You're paying $200 to $500 per lead, and you never know. You could go on a really big dry streak or you could go on a hot streak, okay? So when you're getting into pay-per-lead, you wanna have a lot of money to put into it, and you wanna make sure that you actually know what you're doing and you're going with a very creditable source to do pay-per-lead from. All right, guys, now on to marketing method number 4, which is going to be Google ads and Facebook ads, PPC. So guys, this is where you are running ads on Facebook or you're running Google. And on Facebook, guys, is pretty much where someone's scrolling on Facebook and they'll see your ad saying, we buy homes cash, we wanna buy your home. They'll click on your ad, they'll fill out all the information, and then you'll get the lead into your pipeline. So what's really good about these, if this is people that are actually very interested in selling, okay? These are inbound leads. So these are people that are clicking on something, saying they wanna sell, and then they're telling you how much they wanna sell for, and then from there you go into the acquisitions call, underwriting, all of that process that we've gone over in the previous parts. With this, guys, you don't wanna get into this unless you have like 7 to 8K per month, easily able to deploy. That's kind of like the level that I recommend it. The reason this is such a high budget marketing method is because number one, you have to pay a retainer. So if you guys are working with us and you're inside the agency, we have a lot cheaper retainer option. But if you're looking out and you're just reaching out to some marketing company saying, hey, can you run my ads for me, blah, 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 they're gonna try and charge you like some $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month retainer. So that's 2K per month. And then you have your ad spend, which you wanna spend at least 4 to 5K per month. So then that's how you get to that 7K per month mark at the minimum. And then if you guys are running with us, we have a cheaper retainer that we can get into if you guys are actually interested in joining the program. And we'll tell you about if you actually have the money to spend on PPC or if you're closing deals and scaling up and ready to get into PPC. So guys, I wouldn't recommend getting into PPC or Facebook ads in general if you're not willing to risk 6, 7, 8 grand a month. That's kind of how it has to be. But the thing is with that is it's not really too much of a risk. If you're running Facebook ads for wholesaling and you're running it at $6,000 to $7,000 per month for 3 months, you're gonna close deals. The only way you don't close deals is if you simply don't know how to talk on the phone, you don't know what you're doing, and all of that. But if you're running PPC, you should 100% know what you're doing because you've already closed deals using SMS and you already closed deals using VAs, and now you're on to PPC. So that's how people do really well with PPC, is because they go from SMS to VAs to PPC, and they've learned the entire business. And now with PPC, a great thing about it is if you spend a certain amount of money after you've ran marketing for multiple months on end, you've closed multiple deals, you know if I spend this much money on Facebook ads, I'm going to get this much money in return from wholesaling, okay? And it's always usually a great return as long as you have good systems in place and you actually know what you're doing and you've actually followed the blueprint of wholesaling correctly and the blueprint that we teach inside the agency, which is how you're going to go from closing 1 deal per month to then running stuff like PPC, closing multiple deals per month, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 deals per month, which is then what allows you to get up to those 6-figure per month profits with wholesale real estate. So guys, that's Facebook ads. And then with Google, Google is pretty much where you're running ads on Google. So if someone types in on Google, sell my home for cash, your link would pop up, they'd click on that, it would be an official website. And this is really when wholesaling is like more of a business because you have a website, you have all this different stuff, things like that. So people are actually going to you, you're like an official business. And with this, with Google ads and all that, they're very, very high quality leads, but they're way more expensive. So if you're getting into Google, I really wouldn't recommend running Google and all of that unless you're spending around minimum 8K per month. That's kind of like the minimum. So like I said, guys, it goes SMS, VAs, PPL, Facebook, Google. It's like a staircase, okay? So you climb up the staircase. Once you get to the top of the staircase, when you have the most predictable marketing, and you know if I spend this much, I'm gonna make this much. But at the same time, guys, you don't even have to go all the way to the top. Like there's guys that are running hundreds of VAs a month that are making millions of dollars per month. Like VAs are honestly one of the most true and proven marketing methods if you actually have a good system in place and you actually know what you're doing. Like that's just how it is. Like you can make money with any of these marketing methods. Like for example, at the very bottom of the level, SMS, which I said is more for beginners. I know a guy that's sending over 500,000 texts per month, which is a shit ton of volume, which also costs a lot of money, but he's closing like insane amounts of deals per month. He's probably closing $250,000 in profit per month of wholesale deals. So it really just depends. You can make money with all of these strategies, and whatever strategy works for you is really what you should just double down on, do more of, and make more money with. So guys, this has been a full overview of marketing. I've already gone through most of the stuff, and now you guys know what marketing you need to use to close deals. And if you guys want to work with us, have us do your marketing for you, build all the systems for you, and give you the exact marketing that we're using to do multiple 6 figures per month, I have the link down below in the description to apply to join the agency, guys. It's not a course, it's none of that bullshit. It's literally where we help you build a wholesale business, we do the marketing for you, we set the systems, the automations for you. It's a done for you process where we teach you along the whole way, one-to-one calls with you, 24/7 texts, and then we actually help you build a business, close your first deal. We guarantee a deal under 90 days if you're actually following these systems and using one of these marketing methods. So if you guys want to apply for that, the link is down below. Wholesaling is the best way to get into real estate if you guys don't have experience, okay? If you guys want to get into real estate, you want to start, 3, 2, 1. If you guys want to get into real estate, you want to take the risk, you want to actually try and start building generational wealth through the best industry to be in, guys, which is real estate, then this is the way to do it, okay? You get into wholesaling, you build up capital, you learn the business, you learn how to get through real estate transactions, you learn how to calculate the re-app for property, you learn how to find out property values, you learn how to talk to title companies, you learn how to talk to sellers, you learn how to talk to buyers, you learn everything about real estate while making money. You're literally getting like paid to learn, like, and you're running an entire business while learning the entire scope of real estate. And then once you're closing wholesale deals, you know everything. Then you can get into things like fix and flips. From fix and flips, you can get into things like development. From development, you can get into things like commercial. And that's how you actually climb the big ladder of real estate to start making hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. Or if you just want to be in wholesale and make 100K per month, it's very doable. You can just stay at that level, have a very easy to run business, only spend a few hours on it a day, and that's just how it is, okay? So if you guys want to get into real estate, if you want to work with us, close your first deal in 90 days, I have a link down in the description to join the agency. And if you guys have any other questions that you want me to answer, comment them down below. I also have my new business Instagram link down below in the description, so you guys can follow that, DM me, ask me any questions you might have. Yeah, if you guys want to get into real estate, make sure you have watched all the parts I've been uploading on this channel, because guys, this is literally the blueprint. This is what you got to do to get into real estate, make money with real estate, start closing deals, and actually change your life by the end of 2025, or change your life in 2026 if your life isn't in the direction that you currently want it to be in. But with all that being said, guys, I will see you in the next part, which is going to kind of go more on to scaling a wholesale business, how to start making more money, how to start actually closing more deals. And then on top of that, what type of mindset you need to have, what type of stuff you need to know. And yeah, we'll get into all of that in the next episode, but hope you guys enjoyed. Check out those links down below if any of those interest you. Ask me any questions you might have. See you guys all in the next one. Peace out.